Someone mentioned to us that actually there's a lot of money being made by a lot of those service providers, particularly on Manus Island. And someone mentioned Paladin and said that they were making $90 million. And I thought, wow, that's a staggering amount of money. That's huge. I had a bit of a dig around and I looked into it and I thought, actually, it's not $90 million, it's $423 million. Now, that was a really intriguing number for a company that really had no sort of corporate structure, had no reputation in this area, and not that just no one had ever heard of it, it was just that they had sort of almost sprung up overnight.
I understand the former CEO, Craig Coleman, was also a factor.
Yes, well, there had been some reporting around his court case, and he was brought on by Paladin when they won this contract. In fact, the court documents say that they required his urgent assistance to help prepare that contract in about August 2017. And he quickly fell out with the two Paladin founders, Craig Thrupp and Ian Stewart. And in his statement of claim, which was probably written for publication like many of them, he made some very serious accusations against Paladin. He said that they had lied during the tender process, that they had made suspicious payments, and that they had sort of engaged in sort of misleading and deceptive conduct. And that was sort of interesting in and of itself. But the more interesting thing about it was that the government had not only renewed and extended Paladin's contract knowing these allegations, but they'd also given them an extra $109 million, knowing what we know now around the incompetence, really, of this service provider. The other fact is that if something were to go wrong with this contract, how would the Commonwealth have any recourse against a company that doesn't have a head office, has no assets, and has sort of paid in capital of $50,000? We worked out that it was registered to a beach shack down a dirt road on Kangaroo Island. And what we've been told is that the reason they actually have their Australian headquarters on Kangaroo Island is because you can't be served legal documents there because there is no mail service.
Come on, you're pulling our legs. This is a work of fiction
well,
that the AFR has put together.
I wish it was, but no.
Now, what does Dutton say about all this? Why did he approve it?
Well, he's saying that he didn't approve it.
Surprise, surprise.
He's saying that that was a matter for the department. Indeed, his secretary of his department was the person that approved this contract. But I think, as many of the independent or crossbenchers have pointed out, that can we reasonably believe that a contract of $500 million would not have any oversight from the minister?
It's interesting, isn't it, that the department tried to exempt the contract from FOI?
Basically, they tried to strike out the FOI provisions in the contract, i.e. that would make the contract not be searchable under the Freedom of Information Act. Now, ultimately, the lawyers failed in getting that through, and so it's in there, and that's actually why we know about the contract.